Hello everyone, it is Friday, March 15th. Take a look at the stock market. Stock market now, S&P now, nicely above the 2,800 level, which I said was going to happen. I said that 2,800 level will be a resistance for a period of time because we had some major tops put in there and the market was turned down, but that happened in November and December. I said when it came back up there, it would be some resistance, but eventually we would break through. Look, I mean, let's be honest about this. I was the one back in November and December. You can go back, and I would recommend you go back and you watch some of my videos at the time when I was talking about the hysterical nature of that market sell-off. And I was pointing to things such as continued very high levels of fiscal support, really important, okay, to understand that. And bank credit, which had begun to really accelerate in that period. Now, if there was really a problem with the economy, you would notice it in a deceleration in the rate of bank credit growth. In other words, loans and leases. A lot of that, most of that has to do with demand for credit. And when demand for credit is high, that is a sign of a strong economy. People want to take credit because they see opportunity or their incomes are going up and they want to maybe purchase a home or purchase a vehicle or something of that nature, or in terms of their consumption or their investment. Same thing with businesses. So we saw that in the period in question, but at the same time we saw the hysterical selling of stocks. And the entire time I said, you got to buy that dip, you got to buy that tip. And I've given examples because I lost a lot of subscribers in that period. And that was an issue of mental game on the part of people who quit, searching for the system fairy. You're like, this doesn't work. It does work. We had the biggest market recovery in 30 years in January. Everything I've been telling you, we're up above 2,800. All the conditions are still in place that I'm talking about, the fiscal support, the credit expansion, etc. So I want to talk about something. And by the way, and people have smartly been signing up for my report, MMT Trader. And as I've said many times, I am the only one who has put together an applied approach to MMT. I take the concepts of MMT and I employ them in the activities of trading and investing. And I've been involved with the markets as a trader, as a member of 4 exchanges, a floor trader going all the way back to 1980. All right, so we're talking almost 40 years, 39 years. All right, so I have not just the MMT understanding, which I've been involved with for 18 years, but the trading background. And of course, the mental game aspect, which I've helped so many people with. And I've talked about a lot of these people who sabotage themselves, who quit, who don't want to face the stress, the adversity, the discomfort which comes with this activity. I wish I could tell you that there is a way to avoid all of that. And there's something out there that'll make it easy and pleasurable, and you're never going to have any stress, and you're never going to have to wait. You're going to get your profit just like that. I wish I could tell you that. But if you want to be realistic and rational, you will understand that there is nothing like that. If you're on a quest to seek that sort of system, you're never going to find it. And the ones who will succeed are the ones who are going to honestly say to themselves and resign themselves to the fact that, hey, this is going to be hard. This is going to be tough. It's never going to get easy, but the rewards are there if I do it, and it is what I want. And I've also pointed out that many people are driven by the wrong motivation. They think they want to make money in the markets as traders or investors, but in reality what they are really searching for is action, is excitement, something to talk about. a feeling of being involved. They see this as a game and it's very exciting, and that is a gambling mentality. That is weak mental game. This is very evident to me. I see this in people. I gave an example of this the other day when I talked about a guy who was with me for a pretty long time, and I went overboard. I bent over backwards to hold this guy's hand and to help him through difficult times and say, stick with it. And his final reaction, and I had to cut him. I had to cut him loose. I canceled him. I said, goodbye. That's it. I'm done. Because when he said, why do I need you for if all I have to do is hold on? Well, this shines a light on the fact that he wasn't seeking profit. Okay? And the idea to him that you buy something good, and if it goes down, you hang on and it comes back, that idea was incongruous with what he really wanted. He didn't want to just hang on and make money. So that's another way of saying he wanted to be in and out. He wanted to, move around in the market. He wanted to raise his stops. He kept telling me, I'm going to raise my stops. I said, why raise your stops? The conditions are in your favor. You don't need to raise your stops. He didn't want to. He had no patience. All right, let me talk a little bit about MMT, where today the Bank of Japan Governor Kuroda. Now here's a great example of, you talk about a central bank and their counterproductive policies. The Bank of Japan, and I've talked about this so many times, dumping trillions upon trillions, quadrillions of yen into the banking system, literally causing their banks to become insolvent because, again, all these reserves ultimately require either more capital or less lending or the selling of assets, higher yielding assets. He was asked, I think somebody asked him, because I read an article, what do you think of MMT? He said, oh, that's extreme. That sounds extreme. Now here's a guy who runs a central bank which now owns half of all the bonds and securities issued by the Japanese government. He is literally proving the effect of MMT, which is the sovereign currency issuer has no limit on the ability to credit bank accounts. In other words, to pay for stuff. And he's paid trillions upon trillions for Japanese government bonds, literally exposing the lie which he would say that this is extreme. He's doing it. Now, if the money were used towards infrastructure, towards raising incomes, towards basic science and research, towards education, towards healthcare, you're creating real capital, which constitutes the real wealth of a nation. You're not buying government securities, stripping those assets out of the economy and taking with it the income that is earned on those assets, which the government itself has to pay you, and then they pay it back to the government. That is like some crazy, it's coming out of my left pocket and going in my right pocket. So the guy says MMT sounds extreme when he's a living example of the efficacy of MMT, except for his MMT is focused on the wrong thing. That's the only thing. So we see these critiques coming out left and right now over the last couple of weeks. And all of them are kind of comical, actually. Either there's no rational critique, like Powell saying, oh, that's just wrong. Or you have guys like Larry Summers comparing it to Venezuela or Argentina, or when Europe had the ERM, inapplicable comparisons. So you got to just look at this and say, you know what, we're in that phase now. MMT being attacked. After you're attacked, you win. Remember what Gandhi said. First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they attack you, then you win. Go to my website, pitbulleconomics.com. Sign up for a 30-day free trial of MMT Trader or Zombie Trading, which is my daily Forex signal service. See everybody later. Bye-bye.